In the previous episode of Imperial Ambitions.
Commonwealth is going in on Finland. Not sure how Sweden's gonna feel about that.
I don't think he cares how Sweden feels about it. Finland is probably going to get full annex. There's got to be some bad blood over here. These guys leaving him out to dry like that. This could have been a very easy war. Look what they did to my boy. I feel like he did a lot of work, a lot of setup just to crap the bed. Commonwealth, Ottomans, and France are all three incredibly terrifying. And from what I've seen, I can only assume that they are at least somewhat cooperating.
So it looks like with the formation of Sicily, they have let Tlemcen go. This is the Genoa player, but that is leaving northwestern Africa kind of up for grabs. We do see France has taken the gold mine down in Tafalol. Curious to see if Ottos are going to continue to expand west and kind
Give
of
some
get
land
down.
to Tripoli at the very least, yeah.
Tunis also as a subject. They still have their cores. A lot of reconquest involved. Oh, yes, they do. Very sad about the Switzerland war. I really would love any input about what happened there with the alliances, because if Trier was talking to all of Switzerland's allies, you know, Bavaria and Franconia, and if they were able to just sort of negotiate their way into like, hey, don't join this war, I would like to know what Switzerland's thoughts are about that, because that is a backstab. That's really brutal, especially for the two subjects to just be released like that. Like, ooh, owie, my production.
I think for me, that's kind of a head scratcher that they didn't even try to help. I feel like that's just bad blood. What's the point of allying somebody if they're not even going to actually do anything for you?
Yeah, I would also be salty if I was Dalmatia after that Otto's war. I mean, at some point, you know, it just makes sense to kind of band up together. So I'm just curious to see, is this one of those situations where all of the smaller European nations are kind of every man for themselves? We just have to build up our power base however we can. You know, if eventually we are going to see like a big world war against probably some of the larger despots just on the edge of the HRE. That Prussia taking a large chunk out of Finland, that is a scary Prussia.
Yeah, Prussia is massive, and they took a bunch of land up there from Finland, so
I would say here at this point, Lübeck is performing very strong economically, and Sweden's got to be a little frightened. They had a really rough time. They were reeling after disasters and rebels and trying to, you know, help out in wars and stuff, and now they're kind of just being pincered. I would love to know what their plans are here. Honestly, at this point, they should probably go for Scotland. Just grab your North Sea trade node. There's no players over there. You know,
there is a really, you make a very good point. I think that's a great expansion route for them if they're not going eastward.
And with just that expansion, Commonwealth has a lot of options. Ottomans has a lot of options. Curious to see what's going to kind of happen over here with the Commonwealth Ottoman border. Transylvania is having some struggles. Are they still a subject of Dalmatia? They are.
Transylvania, yeah. Well, they can't get there. They don't have access, and nobody's going to give them access.
Yeah, not for long, I don't think. But what is this? They're just noble rebels, so it's not the end of the world. Now, checking on our underdog, Milan, who we got a sub for, just had a bunch of rebels spawning. Now, if you're the Milan player, you could have taken advantage of the Switzerland war with Trier as well. I don't think that they would have had the men to necessarily actually take battles, but kind of just sort of scavenge off some pickings. The problem with Milan, of course, is that they're going north into the mountains, whereas Trier was able to come down through the flatlands. Yeah. I don't think they actually sieged a single mountain province down in that war.
No, they did not. They did not.
So,
they pushed up to this Breisgau province here.
Oh, Dalmatia. The Chad came in to kill the rebels.
Hey, that's a good overlord right there.
There we go.
Because that's what heroes do.
That's what heroes do.
Well done, Dalmatia.
Yeah, Ottos are taking the fight east. They are just spreading their tendrils. They're doing their Ajam war.
Look at these claims. Those claims are insane. That is so busted.
And Ottomans are very scary. At this point, they could delete their entire army and just run an army of mercs and... Oh, Moravia has been released.
Very good. A Catholic Moravia. Let's see how it goes.
It's looking a little spooky for Saxony here, so...
Yeah, it's an offensive war for Franconia. He's a little ballsy there with his army. Oh, it's a Merc army, I think. Yeah. I was like, he's got very low morale right there. It's just a Merc army.
And Saxony is active.
Going for the attack in Dresden.
No, he was actively recruiting. Oh,
the Battle of Dresden is underway. The Mercs have recruited, and he doesn't even need those Mercs hardly, but he'll probably just go in to finish them off.
Yeah, those reinforcements are very spooky.
All right, let's take a look at their economy here. What's that looking like? We've got Bohemia, or Saxony rather, is very much hurting. They are over their force limit by 15 right now. They have manpower, but it looks like the primary bulk of their army is indeed mercs anyways. They have recruited all of the mercs.
I'm actually in favor of the Saxons on this one.
It's a -2 for them, though. No, look at the morale difference. The
Oh,
Saxons
yeah,
have... They have extra discipline, but that morale is
taking that
absolute
-2
dookie.
was really brutal.
A -2 into a 1.2 morale deficit doesn't matter what your discipline is. You're gonna you're gonna get steamrolled. Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Those are all mercs as well. They're not at max loans, but they're not gonna be able to sustain this war very long. It's gonna end up becoming an issue.
We've got Trier going south. We've got Franconia going north and east.
Saxony's diplomatically isolated. They don't even have allies.
Oh, interesting.
So Lubeck is subsidizing Saxony, but
Good for them.
They're subsidizing them 4 ducats a month, 5 ducats actually, and so that way Saxony's only losing 21 ducats a month instead of 26. So it could be worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Franconia wins this war. Their economy is also in the dumpster, but they don't even have loans out yet. These 2 blue flames are the only flames in the entire lobby right now. Everyone else is just bing chilling right now.
The world is at peace except for the slaughter. That's the Franconian Saxony slaughter.
Let's take a look at some of these numbers right now. Actually Franconia is hemorrhaging men. They're using, I think it was the independent company. So this is their army. This independent army over here is mercs. They've got a 3-2-4-3 general, 3 siege general. My goodness.
One thing that I think Franconia did was really smart is in terms of ideas, they went divine and eco, and that actually gives them the core creation cost -5% for the policy. I think that is, especially in something like this where core creation cost is going to be your biggest like downside of expanding, that's huge for them. We are paused. I'm wondering if they're going to do...
I think this is a house rule. If they have them at 30% war score, they're going to be piecing out right here. I think he's going to take that Ager or whatever that province is, the gold mine.
Yep, he's grabbed it. There you go.
All right, rip that gold mine.
Yep.
Well, their economy was already in a better spot than Saxony's anyways. I mean, to be fair, playing in Germany is rarely fun, but like, look at the trade node. The Rhineland has 45 ducats in it. Saxony has 5.
Yeah, Saxony's in a tough spot. I think after this, they need to get on. They need to start making some friends. Lubeck being just capitalizing off of the refracturing of Ireland right now. It's a very chunk trade setup that they got going on.
Oh, are those all trade cities over there? I love that.
Yeah.
So apparently Sicily here is a pirate republic.
Is fighting a bunch of people. There's a bunch of blue flames.
A Sicilian piratical war against the Swedish.
Sweden?
Against Swedish,
Franconia
apparently.
as well.
How do you even get war score for something like this?
This is beautiful.
It's an imperialism. Oh, they're doing all of them.
Oh my gosh, they're actually fighting the lobby.
Yeah, what's their naval limit looking like? That's the thing. If they have a naval bonus, or if they have the Navy game under, they're at 29 ships, 16 galleys, and 4 heavies.
I mean, Franconia is completely landlocked. You're not taking your boats into Franconia.
He's at war with half of Europe, with absolutely 0% chance of winning literally a single thing. He has no army. I'm pretty sure he has literally no army. He has zero troops.
Yeah, this is a moment of just pure spite. This is a
meme war if I have ever seen meme wars. Oh, actually, he's got a bigger navy than Dalmatia.
Yeah, well, he's pirate.
He's got a 6-2 admiral.
He's only losing 5 ducats a month. Sicily is doing all right in terms of money for being in 4 wars now.
So
Decked on Transylvania, not even Dalmatia themselves. This is an interesting... Now, I'm not sure what the lobby rules are about something like this.
Dalmatia is a little irritated about it. He said we have a naval troll. At the very least,
headache.
It's bad manners.
Yeah, it's a headache for sure for all parties involved, especially, the struggling Swedes who are just trying to get back on their feet. Now, the question here is, what happened to the Netherlands?
They sold all their provinces and now they're back to just hanging out in Hanover.
I'm going to think that the attacks from Sicily are just to confuse us, the casters, with all of the blue flames. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's so many player wars going on, and everyone I click on, it's just Sicilian aggression.
Yep, every single one of them. Let's take a look at Brabant. Brabant is at war with the Burgundian conquest of some land. Where? What the heck? So I am curious, though, about Prussia's development versus Poland, right? So Prussia's at almost 400 development. He can't have, so he's not an effective march at this point.
Because he's too big?
Yeah, he's way too big. He's like twice as big as he can be. So I'm curious what the thought process is with that. I feel like if you're going to have them, you want them to be much more powerful. Yeah, they need to have less than 219 dev, and they have 385. So either they got to take some land from Prussia, or the Commonwealth needs to get a conquering.
I'm wondering if this is just another one of those sort of agreed upon things where the Commonwealth just said, yeah, you know, you can stay as a march, we're going to help you expand, but you still have to be our subject, regardless of if they're an effective march or not. Having Prussia as an ally, whether you're their overlord or not, is helpful. Like, I don't think anyone would turn that down.
Yeah, back to the thing with Sicily. There is no like outcome where anything other than them just like annoying the other players happens, right? They will get nothing from this war. Lemon had said that it's my call. I feel like it's kind of BM, but if there's like a majority of the players that are insisting on kind of booting the kid, I mean, I'm not going to oppose it. I think I think
at this point you give the player an option and you say, okay, you know, now you owe everyone money and war reps, because what they're not going to take your lands from you all the way there, and if you won't accept the peace deals, then that's a boot. Basically what you're doing at this point is you're just frustrating, you know, a bunch of nations that are playing this game legit. They're
toxic.
Trying to
it's toxic. I am with, so Lady Magnus is the voice of reason. She said he's toxic, kick him. And I tend to agree. I think at least mine. I know Ghibli had kind of said give him an ultimatum, but
I think the option there, and if there's just a solid no, we're not going to peace out at that point. It's you got to go. I mean, they're fighting a bunch of landlocked nations. They're fighting like a hurt, you know, Sweden. Commonwealth isn't going to, you know, build enough ships to come down here. I just think that it's just a troll for being a troll's sake. It's unfortunate though, because there was actually open land. If they wanted to expand and play as a serious nation, they could have gone into North Africa. There were routes of expansion. I mean, obviously, you know, you've got much larger neighbors. You've got, you know, big France, big Ottos, big Pope.
Yeah.
But there was an option. You weren't just super locked for yourself. But I would say that's
I want
kind of
meaningful blue flags.
Yeah, I want meaningful blue flags.
CC says off with his head.
At this point, I would say with or without a Sicily player in Sicily Wars, we're seeing some fracturing of some of the smaller nations. Like Switzerland right now can't deal with 26k noble rebels, looking a little spooky over there.
Looks like Franconia is actually going to help bail them out by the looks of it.
Thank you, Franconia.
Good guy,
Thank
Franconia.
you, Franconia. What a good guy. I'm curious to see if the Sicily player is getting booted, what's going to happen with that open land. I'm assuming it would go to the Pope. I mean, why not?
Yeah, Pope almost guaranteed.
RIP our boy Genoa, though. I mean, that land is ripe for the taking if you're Dalmatia, Milan, or France.
Yeah,
or the Pope, either way.
Oh, he was kicked. He was kicked. Rip.
So happens. You mess with the lobby, you get the horns. People are going to war with Sweden. Lubeck is currently sieging down Sweden. Rip.
Can't catch a break.
Prussia's just standing on the border, just standing by. It's looking a little spooky. And then when we're looking at the religious map mode, first off, love the Hussite splash.
Look at the Sweden player in chat. I can't convert Protestant. I already am. Defender of faith. Help.
Oh, no.
So Sweden ended up going Protestant. They weren't for a while, I don't think.
And that's going to hurt the bishops, correct? Oh. Because that's part of their scoring is keeping Catholicism
within the empire, I think. Mm-hmm. So Sweden is a despot, so I don't think it, and they're that outside of the HREs, to them, yes. So it might not matter. I mean, this is to be expected, though. The fact that Sweden or Lubeck is going to be taking some land, I imagine. So Gotland is already a trade city. They're going to be releasing a trade city over here in the Baltic node, guaranteed. So they're probably going to release like a Kalmar or something like that, one of the fort provinces as a trade city, because that's one of their things to get points.
That's very sad for Sweden, though. RIP, our boy Sweden.
I think Sweden's done.
It's very, very sad for me to see, especially because they were very uncontested up north. You know, they got their independence, they got Norway, and they just could never really recover. They had like a peasants' war right after their war for independence, and it was just like they never came back from it. On a separate note, if we flip over to my point of view, you're going to see the Holy Roman Empire. Take a look at that. We have at least two
2 people voting for a beautiful Moravia as the emperor of the HRE.
Oh, look at that. I hope
would
that they
love-
win.
Yes, if there's one thing that can band these electors, princes together, they should all vote for Moravia.
We've got Bohemia who's voting for France, which is a terrifying idea. Then the other option here is Burgundy. A few people are voting for Burgundy here, but yeah, I think the Moravian emperor is a good call.
It would be good. It would be based and red-pilled, or whatever the positive outcome, I guess.
Based in Moravia pilled.
Based in Moravia pilled. But the fact that they're not Hussite makes it way funnier, in my opinion. Just
It sure does.
Moravia is like the region of Bohemia that was Hussite. It was Moravia. So the fact that it's the nation of Moravia is a one province minor that is Catholic makes it very funny. It's ironic.
So what is going on with some of the small OPMs that are left? We've got Independent Anhalt just chilling, surrounded by Saxony. Ulm, no one has touched Ulm. I wonder if that's out of respect, just, purely leaving Ulm to grow as big as they can.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a couple of free cities, one province minors. I imagine that they're not going to last much longer. The HRE is heavily in favor of a Burgundy as the next emperor. And so, Ghibli, I know you and I were kind of under the impression that we were probably going to be seeing some form of an alliance between France and Burgundy, but Burgundy being like a real emperor, not like a phony emperor like Bohemia was. If we had a Burgundy as a real emperor, that could be a real deal game changer against France, yeah?
Yeah, I would agree. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with League War and, the strength of Catholicism, but France has actually taken the Pope's colony in Brazil.
Oh.
France is also colonizing Africa. It's looking like France is going just full global empire at this point. Not sure if the rest of the HRE members, even unified underneath, a Burgundian emperor, they're gonna really have to just band together, maybe pull in some favors potentially from like the Commonwealth. At this point, France is a very scary person. Burgundy, I'm a little concerned that Burgundy isn't doing much expansion at this point. So if it's just them against France, I say that that's a big L. But if they can get the alliances going, everyone in Europe is very fractured, just in terms of compared to France or compared to the Commonwealth, compared to the Ottomans. Like the despots here are very, very spooky. The one thing that I will say about a Burgundian emperor, it would be a good thing to stop all of the infighting within the HRE.
Yeah, because they can enforce peace. That's something
Yes.
that a lot of people don't know. If you're the emperor, you can enforce peace on any princes at war with each other for free. It doesn't matter what their relations are. That would be a really good call. Also, I mean, just being the emperor does have its benefits. There's flat bonuses to manpower. You get a stronger force limit and an economy just based on the number of princes and the quality of the princes in the HRE. So definitely something to consider. Real quick, I'm going to switch over to my point of view, because if we take a look here, one way, because we were talking about challenging France, about Europe being really fractured, keep in mind that 15 aggressive expansion rule, because France could have every single member of the HRE join against them right now. And I don't know, I feel like they should do it. But
Yeah, a coalition is how you're going to take out France.
Yeah, agreed. You're going to have to get people like unlikely alliances together. But I know the thing is France is strong. I think the Commonwealth is equally, if not more strong, but is just being like timid about it. Like the Commonwealth could be so much more aggressive if they wanted to. They could probably I don't know if they could 1v1 and beat the Ottomans, but they could 1v1 and have a go at the Ottomans. I really do think they could, especially if they have aristocratic underway. Like they've got it done. They
certainly could. I would say the Commonwealth's best selling point, but also kind of their demise, is because of their reliance on Cav, they need to be in flat lands.
Yeah,
so if
definitely.
they were to try to fight France, fighting in the woods, hills, mountains of Europe is not the way. They would have to wait for France to march to them, or they could be fighting in northern France in the flatlands.
Yep.
But once they bring those horses and they try to start sieging down the Pyrenees, it's not gonna go too great for them.
Yeah, I do. I think there's a little bit of slowness to action, just because the Commonwealth would be, if they attack the Ottomans, obviously, like that's going to be a big thing. So, but imagine France and the Commonwealth teaming up against the Ottomans. But the Commonwealth, if they want to win, they're going to have to start getting more points. They are in third place of 4 despots.
So looking at Sweden after the Lubeck War, they've lost quite a bit of land.
They're getting a nice big old hug.
Yeah, we're seeing Catholic zealots, but it looks like they're trying to stop that. So hopefully they will be successful after flipping.
Oh.
Did you see Bergenhus? The Bergenhutians are out.
Yes,
From
shout
Norway.
out
That's
Bergenhus,
good.
the Catholic nation with the reformed flag there. And apparently they have a mission to turn it into gold.
Now,
So-
it hasn't been dev'd by the Sweden player that much. It's only 18 devs, so that could have been contributing to some of their economic issues, but I would love to see a Sweden come back. I think at this point, colonizing, getting into like Scotland, Ireland, go to Canada, just go to Canada, get out of here.
Go on and they have to get an army or a navy first. At least they're at 0 stability, but they're losing 9 ducats a month right now with no navy and an army.
Are you seeing the Ottoman expansion?
Well, let's take a look.
It's, oh boy.
They got the wasteland. The name is bigger yet.
They got big name, big wasteland. They're down in the peninsula. They're,
They've pushed into Nubia as well as Central Arabia.
Sneaking around the Caspian. I mean, this is, in terms of the Ottomans, they are unstoppable. Like,
Yeah, they're terrifying.
We're talking about, does Burgundy want to be the emperor, and are they going to gang up on France and try to, defend themselves from the French incursion?
Meanwhile, the Ottomans just very casually conquering half the world. Yeah, looks like Bohemia is actually voting for France because they're their overlord. Yeah, we are going to see a Bohemia as the next emperor. Let's see how old the Bavarian emperor is at the moment. He's only 31, so we very well may not see that today. This guy was inaugurated on October of 1526, and he's 31, so he's been the emperor since he was literally like an infant.
Just a baby.
Look at Kazan. Real quick, hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Look at Kazan.
No, that's good.
Kazan. Why is it so big?
I don't know, but we have a Bashkiria as well, and I'm a huge Bashkiria fan.
But why is Kazan so dang big?
So in terms of Dalmatia, I would like to see, because they are situated, obviously, Venice trade node. Economically, they're in a great position. I would like to see some expansion on their behalf. I'm wondering what their play is here. There is free Hungarian land.
Genoa is now a subject of France, by the way.
Oh, are they?
Probably diplo-vassalized, if I had to guess. Yep. So they don't have anywhere to expand, except for Hungary. That's it.
Yeah,
I think that's literally it.
At some point, do you want to do some Italian wars? You're going to need some friends to, try to go up against the Ottos. I probably wouldn't go north, but it's interesting that there is, 4 provinces left in Hungary, so that's probably their only real option now.
So Dalmatia had an incredible opener. I would say that they were probably one of the most impressive openers of this campaign. But yeah, they've petered out because France has just been choking them out, or from the west, and then the Ottomans in the east. And they can't push north because they have to attack into the HRE, and they're not going to do that. And they don't have any friends. Dalmatia is essentially basically out. And Sweden is currently in the process of annexing Norway. So we'll see how that goes as well.
I hope it goes well for them. We've got a big player war happening here. I noticed it because Switzerland was retaking with Burgundy the land that they have lost. But actually, now that we're looking at it, it's a coalition war.
Okay. This is good. I'm here for this.
Very spicy. Lubeck coming in, just sieging Frankfurt. You love to see it.
And the numbers are looking pretty sweet as well. We've got a I wouldn't even say lopsided. We have a slight benefit towards the coalition members, but it looks like the Emperor and Frankfurt have backed them up. I don't know, man. I feel like this is a pretty messy one in terms of borders. Oh,
these
big battle.
reinforcements are. Oof.
And the morale, the numbers are very similar, except Trier's got 20% discipline. He just rolled a 9 and then a 0.
Yeah.
Global
the
Defender,
rolls are kind of brutal.
Bonus, huh? Oh my gosh. Trier rolled 2 9s back to back.
Ooh,
and then
RIP.
Lubeck rolled a 0. Yeah, that was some bad rolls. That's
a big loss on that. But economically, if anyone's going to be able to wait out a war just purely on income alone, it's going to be Lubeck.
Lubeck can literally just like float this whole. Lubeck probably has the economy to float everyone in the war the whole game. But this war going on definitely opens up some interesting things, right? Like Burgundy is going to be a little weak. Maybe France is going to say, hey, now's my chance. Right? This war might have some big implications. At the very least, I imagine that Switzerland is just trying to get their clay back from their subjects that were taken. But he's only got 1 core left of those 4. That's unfortunate.
Again, it's HRE infighting. So if you're sharing a border with one of the nations that are in this war, now's your time. Hop on in. If you're Sweden, how long is your truce with Lubeck?
Oh, Franconia just got clapped in another battle. Got caught with their pants down here. Switzerland is not really doing a whole lot, even though he declared the war.
I think Switzerland is just going to hang out on his defensive lands.
Yep, as he should.
Yep, he got what he needed.
He left his capital in Heidelberg, though. Man, you got to move that capital. Move that capital to like Zurich or something. Keep it safe. Uh-oh. Looks like we've got a battle looking to start over here in Heidelberg. I imagine the Franconians are going to be backing up the Swiss. This is not a Merc army either. Interestingly, Switzerland, you should, probably do that since you're Switzerland.
Now, Bavaria seems fully unfazed by this. They do not seem to be moving troops or doing anything like that.
They're building up a bit, but yeah, maybe. I mean, to be fair, they've got a pretty wide front line, and if they go in, at the very least, I think they should do like maybe a feinting attack, push into like a Chur over there on that fort. At least distract them. That way Heidelberg can go, because once Heidelberg goes down, war exhaustion is going to start spiking. And remember, you can't buy war exhaustion down while at war with the mod being used. So if they can get war exhaustion going up, that's obviously going to make it bad for them, because war exhaustion not only can't be bought down during war, but the malices are doubled.
So France just decked a war while this other war is going on, and it's gonna get very messy. It's a
reconquest for his subject against Franconia for that gold mine over in Bavaria or Bohemia.
That's a big oof. The Pope showed up. Switzerland is just surrounded. R.I.P. my boy.
Yeah, rip Switzerland. They're, like I said, this is their chance to get the opportunistic war, and I think that's a really good call on France's part. Definitely agree with that.
Frankfurt hired Commonwealth troops. Commonwealth's doing their part.
That is insane. So
we got big battles.
Oh, big battles. Where are we at? Oh my goodness. Multiple big battles. Wait, the Commonwealth is in.
Yeah, they got hired by Franconia.
Oh, that's a Condottieri. Oh my goodness. Condo, and they won. Yep. I mean, I would not want to fight that. That is a beefy 10-12 stack with a 3-star general. Where did he go? He disappeared.
Well, France has left the war. They came in, got what they wanted. We're like, all right, guess we're out.
Yeah, they took Geneva by the looks of it as well. No, it was just Cheb, that gold mine there.
Good
Maybe
for
a little
them.
bit of a missed opportunity. I think they probably could have just ravaged them if they wanted to. But maybe France is playing it safe.
Wondering about what the borders are going to look like after this. I mean, it's not going to be a full partition, and I believe the rules for the lobby are you can't unseat the home state.
Yeah,
take a player's home capital state.
There's the unconditional surrender.
Yep. While Otto's just doing their back-to-back Ajam Mamluk War. It's like their men get home from war and they're like, all right, honey, get dressed. You got to go do your Mamluk War again. Yep. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Yeah, I'm curious what the peace deal is going to look like. Like I said, I think if he's smart, he's going to. Oh, yep, he's feeding Baden, at least a couple of provinces here. They took one province and cut them in half. Oh, they did. They took the 2 provinces. They did. They did.
Yikes. Now, all right. If you're Switzerland, at this point, what do you do? Where do you go? I mean,
in the next episode of Imperial Ambitions.
I think we had one of those cheesy alliances that I was just mentioning. Saxony attacked Anhalt and Poland immediately allied him. France is going after Brabant.
Oh boy.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Oh, Brabant, get out of there, Brabant.
Oh, look at him. He's hiding in the corner. We have just witnessed a murder.
Yeah.
Cold, calculated, and very much premeditated. It looks like the Commonwealth went in, killed the Bohemians, and then left.
Yeah, we've got 170k Commonwealth allies against 110k.
This is a definite win for the Commonwealth team.
Make sure to subscribe for the next episode of Imperial Ambitions.